What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DTom. You already know what time it is. It's reaction time, so let's get right into it. Today, we about to watch 15 worst players LeBron James carry to an NBA championship. So y'all know how they say LeBron needs super teams. LeBron. It's always hate on LeBron, but LeBron has gotten a lot of players rings. A lot of players rings. A lot. A lot. Yes, a lot. So, so let's see what happened. And just so y'all know, LeBron James went to a Cleveland Cavaliers team that was losing bad, like worst team in the NBA losing bad, and they had Kyrie Irving. LeBron James went there in that same year. They go to the finals. MVP. Uh, and before he went to Miami, Miami had a way worse record. I think there was like 43-39 before he went there, and he was playing for I think 67. I think they had like 67 wins, 19 losses. That's the team he came from, a 67-19 team to a 41-39 team, I think, or like 40. They had 40 wins, 30 losses. That's horrible. And LeBron James made them NBA champions. So let's just get that out the way. That Kevin Durant decision to go to Golden State is not the same as Miami's, because Miami did not just come up for a championship in the best record of NBA history. They didn't just do that. Kevin Durant went to that team. Hey, that way.
School B-ball is back. And
Okay.
this time around, we're taking a look at the 15 worst players LeBron James has carried to an NBA championship. It is no secret that LeBron James is the best player in the NBA.
Duh.
Need proof? Look no further than the fact that he is likely en route to his 7th straight trip to the NBA Finals.
He did that.
One of the things that people often point to when denying LeBron entry into the GOAT conversation is that he has played with some of the best players of his era. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and others are all brought to the table when speaking of the help that LeBron has had during his career. What is often left out of these conversations are the terrible players that James has had to compensate for during his 3 title runs. James has had some of the statistically worst performing players on his roster during his championship seasons. Brace yourself for a gauntlet of garbage as we reveal the 15 worst players that LeBron James has carried to an NBA title. Matthew Dellavedova earned more than just a championship ring playing alongside LeBron. After winning the 2016 NBA championship, Delly received a 4-year, $38 million contract from the Milwaukee Bucks. Not bad for a backup point guard with extremely limited offensive skills. During Cleveland's back-to-back finals, Dellavedova became somewhat of a cult hero. The stories of him shutting down Steph Curry were extremely exaggerated. James was quoted, "That's a guy who is dedicated, who never cared about guys saying that Delly is not fast enough, Delly is not strong enough, Delly can't shoot it well enough, Delly is not an NBA player. Well, guess what? Delly is a champion." The only all-star on this list, Juwan Howard, was far removed from the 1996 version of himself. By 2012 and 2013, Howard was nothing more than a coach in uniform. Yet, he still gets to add NBA championship to his playing resume. His production on the court was about as impactful as the PA announcer. Howard averaged less than 5 minutes per game during the back-to-back championships. The relationship between James Jones and LeBron James is as close to family as you can get. LeBron has repeatedly told anyone who's willing to listen that he believes James Jones is the best teammate he could ever have. LeBron has even gone so far as to say that Jones is not allowed to retire until LeBron is ready to. With the brotherhood-like friendship in mind, there is no denying that James Jones has 3 championship rings solely because of that bond. Timothy Mozgov owes more than just his championship ring to LeBron. After being a complete non-factor in the Cavs' 2016 NBA championship victory over the Golden State Warriors, Mozgov signed a 4-year, $64 million contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. James, being the leader that he is, gave Timo a shout-out on Twitter after he signed with LA. James congratulated him, as well as reminding him that when they see each other again, dinner better be on Timothy. Timothy was most famous for his appearance in Blake Griffin's most epic posterization.
Oh, I didn't know that was him.
LeBron, never being one to hold back his true feelings, had quite the interesting compliment for Mozgov. When Cleveland signed him back in 2015, James recounts the story as follows. "So I come down the elevator, and Timo is in the lobby. and it looked like I seen the biggest human being I'd ever seen in my life. I looked at Griff, the GM, and said, "He's big, ain't he?" Mario Chalmers is widely regarded as one of the worst starting point guards to win multiple NBA championships.
Damn.
During his time with LeBron and the Heat, Chalmers was often the team punching bag. There are countless videos on YouTube of Heat players getting upset with Chalmers, one in particular when James jumps from his seat on the bench to get into Chalmers' face during a timeout. Many players from those Heat teams, including Shane Battier, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and even Coach Spoelstra, all had to get into Mario from time to time. Norris Cole might be the most famous player to never average more than 6.5 points or 3.5 assists per game in league history. During his 4 years with the Miami Heat, Cole's career high in points per game was 6.3 in 2014. Like fellow Heat point guard Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole has bounced around the league since LeBron decided to leave Miami. Both Coles and Chalmers have had rumored interest in rejoining LeBron in Cleveland.
They should
But it
have.
seems LeBron has little interest in bringing either one on board in Ohio. Ronnie Turioff is probably more famous for having heart surgery and returning to the NBA than he is for any on-court accomplishments. He was a quality college player during his days at Gonzaga, but he never lived up to the potential as an NBA player. Yet Turioff found a way to capture an NBA championship in Miami during the LeBron James era.
Tell me of his any player in this list that we about to watch. Tell me of his any player in this list that y'all don't think should be in there. I don't think Mozgov should be in here because when he played for the Nuggets, he did get like 30 and 30, I think. I don't know, maybe it wasn't 30 and 30. But I know he's had like 32 rebounds in the game before. That's impressive. A lot of people haven't done that.
His time in Miami was short, having appeared in only 12 games, starting 7 of them. The production was just not there, as he averaged only 1.9 points per game and was rarely used, as Miami preferred to run their version of small ball. Jordan McRae is one of LeBron's favorite practice players. James said he viewed McRae as a little brother, a guy who he believes could be an elite scorer in the NBA someday. But for once, it is clear LeBron was wrong on this one. In early 2016, the Cavaliers signed him to a 10-day contract, and he became a favorite of LeBron's. McRae was on the bench for the Cavaliers' magical run to the NBA title last season, but sadly, McRae was waived by the Cavs in March 2017. Sasha Khan is one of the luckiest NBA players of all time, without question. Khan played a grand total of 25 NBA games, all of which he came off the bench. During the Cavaliers' amazing run to the NBA championship in 2016, Khan played an amazing 0 minutes. However, he did make history. Khan and his teammate Timothy Mozgov became the first Russians to ever win an NBA championship. Jarvis Varnado played 7 years of professional basketball, spending time in the NBA D-League, and several stints playing professionally overseas. He was known most for his ability to block and alter shots at the rim, but his talents were never quite enough to sustain a run in the NBA. Despite only playing in 37 games, Varnado will forever be the proud owner of an NBA championship ring.
You know?
That, of course, comes courtesy of LeBron James and the Miami Heat team from 2013. Terrell Harris. After having a solid college career at Oklahoma State, Harris went undrafted in 2009. His road to the NBA began in Strasbourg, France. After 3 years of D-League and overseas ball, he was given an invite to the Miami Heat training camp. During training camp, Harris did just enough as he was signed to the final roster spot on the Heat team. Harris was then able to keep his spot on the Heat roster for the entire 2012 season, including the postseason. Unlike some players on this list, Harris actually played during his championship playoff run. That is right. Harris played in 4 playoff games, averaging 2.5 minutes per game and a whopping 1.3 points per game. Joel Anthony. Somehow, Joel Anthony has spent the last decade suiting up for NBA games. He has logged over 7,000 career minutes and has 2 NBA championships to his name. It is incredible that a guy who has a career high of 3.5 points per game could last a decade in the league. But somehow, Joel has done it as a key role player. Needless to say, he owes those 2 rings to LeBron and company. Eddie Curry was one of the most highly touted big men to enter the NBA out of high school. He is also a commonly used example of why players should go to college before entering into the NBA. Curry had all the skills needed to dominate the NBA, except the discipline and maturity. After seeing his career slip away due to health, Curry dropped 70 pounds in 2011 and was given a one-year contract by the Miami Heat. As a part of the Heat's 2011-2012 championship team, Curry played 83 minutes in 14 games, including a lone game as the team's starting center. Curry was active for only one game during the playoffs, a game in which he never ended up playing in. Ultimately, Curry has become a cautionary tale for younger players. But at the end of the day, he will always have that championship ring that he can look at with a smile. Dexter Pittman had one of the most fortuitous beginnings to a career that a player could ever ask for. After spending his rookie season in the D-League, Pittman was all but forced onto the Heat roster in his second year. After the signing of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, the Heat were stuck with very little cap space, and a player already under contract, like Pittman, was a great way to fill roster spots. His career average of 2.3 points and 1.8 rebounds tell you all you need to know about his skill level. The Heat were in desperate need of bodies, and Pittman was in the right place at the right time, and it enabled him to capture an NBA title. Dante Jones was a very good high school and college player. Once he got to the NBA, it seemed the talent level had just become too much for him to keep up with. As his career progressed, Jones, being a crafty guy, found a way to stay in the league. He found that getting under his opponent's skin was a way for him to bring value to his team. As an undersized, underskilled player who averaged over 10 points only once in his career, he realized he would have to do whatever it took to stay in the league. During the team's run to the title, Jones played 3.3 minutes per game during the playoffs, averaging 1.1 points per game. However, he did find his way to center stage when he and Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green got into a war of words, which began when Jones was a member of the Clippers. Jones intentionally bumped Green during a post-game interview in what can only be classified as a desperate attempt to draw a reaction from the often emotional Draymond. I guess every team needs someone to do the dirty work, but Jones is one of the worst. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Hey, that video was lit. Some of the players, I don't think they really really that bad. I think he should have got some of the never mind. Just say to a championship, and that's been on his team. Duh. Go ahead and smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow my social media. It's in the description down below.